Bhakti, where I have to accept Ishvara in my life. So our discussion completely depends upon here. So when we talk about bhakti, in English they say very nicely, human being is basically a emotional person because of emotion. And why the person is emotional? Because there is a conflict between what the person knows and what is reality. Or rather say, what the person thinks of one's own self and what is the reality. When there is conflict, the person is bound to become emotional. And moreover, we say, if you are highly intellectual, you will become highly emotional because you have more informations. And when you have more informations, definitely you will become more emotional. So that means if human being by nature is emotional because of conflict, as it happened to Arjuna too. Now, how that emotion to be converted into devotion? Because in emotion, a person is egocentric. And moreover, the person always puts one's own self in the front place, in priority. And once the person puts one's own self, then what happens? There is worries, anxieties, insecurity. Now, how to protect one's own worries and anxieties? Now, if the person has got other means, starting with thinking faculty, or wealth, health, power, position, now we'll use everything to support one's own ego, one's own insecurity, worries, or anxieties. So here, very good shift to take place after all these qualities. That emotion to be converted, to be developed into devotion. And if the emotion is not converted into devotion, it's a waste of life, not waste of time, it's a waste of life. That's why we say very carefully, a common devotee is much more better and healthier than so-called intellectuals, including so-called Vedantins. In short, you can see, you can feel for yourself. You can relate a villager, a farmer. But will you be able to relate so-called people, those who stay in the cities or a little bit educated or half educated? Will you be able to relate? Very tough. Why? Because of this reason. Too much emotion and justifying one's own emotion, strengthening one's own emotion. So, emotion to become devotion, you need Ishvara. And Ishvara is not sufficient because Ishvara will not come say that, look, you have to do devotion. So then Ishvara will become your Ishvara. You understand? Then you will make your Ishvara to dance according to you. And in that you also will quote, hey, look, there are examples available how Lord Krishna turned one's own self other way. How this happened to Purandara Dasa, how happened to other people, you will quote. So in short, you will make Ishvara according to your way. That's why emotion to become devotion, you need Guru, you need Shastra. So without Guru and Shastra, emotion can never become what? Devotion. That's why earlier we have seen Acharya Upasana. Or else what will happen is, yes, you are a devotee, Devotee of what? Let me share this story so that I'll come to the point. In my, let us say, before I could leave, let us say, my so-called my birthplace. So that time I was, let us say, accepted as a, I won't say spiritual, they used to call me Baba. Oh, Baba is coming, okay, already. So whole friend circles, elderly people, like those who are 20 years old, they will call like this, okay. So one incident happened, I cannot forget. So one lady really got angry and put all the gods, whatever statues, photos, whatever she had, put everything in the water body, in a pond, that in fact in front of her house. So that was big news. So my peer group, they got a chance, they got hold of me. Hey, look, you guys are just showing up. Look how the lady put inside the pond, and where is God? So long the person was worshipping God and God did not take care of. So those days, of course, I was studying a lot and practicing a lot. You cannot think of, okay? In fact, today whatever I have with reference to yoga, I am openly saying it, with reference to yoga, whatever I am talking is that what I had practiced before coming to this life, a lot. I had to answer, when did she worship God? She has never worshipped God. She was worshipping her desire in the form of God. As long as her desires were taken care or hope that it will be taken care, that long she was worshipping. So that means either she was worshipping her hopes or a desire or hopes on desire. So when discovered that neither desire was fulfilled nor hopes, then what happened? So she just threw the desire and hopes on the water body, in the water body, not the God, because there was no God at all. I hope understand the concept. Look at yourself. So are you worshipping God, or you are worshipping your desire or hopes on desires? So you need to be very careful. That's why, let me not get into too much, because I have got enough of personal example and also scriptural example. Let me not get into too much. But one thing I can say openly, that in emotion, you want people to take care of you. In devotion, you would like to take care of others. In emotion, you are egocentric. In devotion, you are a caring person. And if you look at all these aspects, we give importance to devotion because we say, if you cannot make it, at least fake it. When I say fake it, even if you don't have devotion, go to the temple. At least bend down. You need to do. Because sometimes it may happen. Because when you break down, you have to bend down. There is no choice for you. And tell me, who has not broken down in life? So if you have to bend down once, at least once in lifetime, if not many times, okay? But don't worry, every moment you will break down, that's another point. So why can't you bend down consciously? At least if you learn to bend down consciously and in a healthy way, you may not break down. It's like your back, you understand? If you don't exercise, what will happen? Your back is going to create problem. So don't say that I have back pain, okay? Many of you are here having complaining back pain, okay? Hey, do you do exercise? Do you go for walk? Because somebody said, Swamiji, please talk, okay? I said, okay, I'll let me talk in the class, okay? Why to talk? So if you do not do exercise, bend down consciously your back, of course your back will break down. Don't worry. Not back breaks down, no problem. But you break down, okay? That's the problem. And even if you break down also no problem. Don't break others. That's another serious problem, okay? However, joke apart. So the emotion to become devotion, we divide based on especially Bhagavata Purana. We divide 9 types of devotion. Remember, these are not the information. Problem with many of you is you think as information and you use this information to destroy yourself. Here we say 9 types of devotion. Wherever you are, adopt and improve. Not justify, not try to understand intellectually. More you try to understand intellectually, more you are a dumb fellow, more you become emotional. And it doesn't work. That's why he says very carefully. The first one is that we say based on Narada Bhakti Sutra. First one is called Shravanam. So Shravanam means listening to the divine stories, glories. So that means all the time Purana Shravanam, or when you start listening to it, many things happens. First of all, we see, look, all the gods, goddesses also go through tough time. But how they made use of toughest time into their favor, you hear through the stories. Then when you compare yourself, you are nobody. In fact, you are going through very less. Then what happens? If God, who is called Savior for me, had to go through, who am I? So you have strength to overcome. So that's why this Shravanam also takes care of devotee, because without Shravanam, you cannot have stronger devotion. That's why in the earlier classes we have said that only when you do Purana Shravanam again and again, then only devotion will be stronger. So nowadays you have Shravana, what? All these social media people. And you have devotion for them, you understand? You follow them. And that's why they have got millions of viewers and millions of followers. Then after Shravanam comes Kirtanam. So Kirtanam means singing praise of God. So you do Kirtanam. So not only you listen to, you also start putting into the oral. So when you have to put speaking, so definitely you listen better. And when you start doing God's Kirtanam, definitely you cannot talk bad things either. In fact, that's why many people, what they do, very nice we have in India, suppose by mistake if you say something wrong comes out, or even if you think wrong, you understand? Automatically it will come. Person, what does it mean? In my thinking or in my knowledge or without knowledge, something is happening. Oh, you are aware. So through Kirtanam, this happens. And after Kirtanam comes Smaranam. Remembering the divinity, the activities of divinity. And once that happens, now your worries, and we'll talk later on what happens, what doesn't happen. Then the fourth one should be Pada Sevanam. So Pada Sevanam means serving, starting with Lord's feet. That's why I have seen, especially in temples, that Lord goes to sleep. Only in all over India, only one temple, that is called Jagannath temple, where when Lord goes to sleep, that sleeping time is people watch. Gita Govinda dance and other things will happen. That's very nice. Whereas other temples, when sleeping time, only few people will be there to take care. And you will be shocked and surprised to know all the temples, there will be a proper bed in the night. And the Ushava Murti, the representative of the god, they will be brought and make the god to lie down. They will put the blanket in winter. If it is summer, fan or air condition has to be done. Proper pillow. Everything has to be done. And they keep changing that every day, like how human beings. It really is amazing to see that. And also they do some Padaseva also. Sometimes to see that, because in a close circle, really amazing to observe that. Because that serving attitude defines that I am ready to be available. And after Padasevanam comes Archanam, another type. So Archanam is ritualistically. So ritualistically you relate with flower archana, with a different way, so that there is some knowledge involved. And you try to glorify the Lord with different aspects of God in the form of name in a ritualistical way. Then comes Bandhanam. You do Bandhana, means offering prayers. 7.1 is called Dashyam, Dashya Bhavam. Dashya Bhavam means serving as a servant of God. That's why Vaishnavas, their surname is called Dasha. In fact, they always consider themselves, they say, Dashoham iti, aham dasaha iti. I am a servant. That's why sometimes it is better to relate with this Vaishnavas than the so-called Vedantini. I have my problem with Vedantini, okay, that's why I'm relating, telling you openly. However, then comes Sakhyam. Sakhyam means being friendship with God. We have examples we'll come across. And finally, the ninth Navadha Bhakti, 9.1 is called Atma Nivedanam. So this Atma Nivedanam means offering one's own self, complete surrender ityartha. So in short, when look at this, all these stages, even though physically we talk this, all are physically related, but when we try to look at attitude-wise, we divide it into two categories. One is Sakama Bhakti, other one is Nishkama Bhakti. We have discussed everything, okay? I am trying to put everything together. So don't look at me differently. So attitude-wise, we put them Sakama and Nishkama. Now, Nishkama is something, has two stages. Okay, Sakama means what? Sakama means you have a devotion, bhakti means devotion, with kama, with desire. So seeking benefits. How it happens also we can see, because that also we need to look at how this Sakama can be in Shanta Bhava. Because all these devotions with relationship. So as a Shanta, very peaceful adoration. It's like, sometimes you love somebody hidingly from a distance. Very peaceful way. So some people love God from a distance. Wow. Also it can be dasya bhava, serving, that servitude attitude. And of course sometimes this servitude becomes arrogant. That we'll discuss also how this happens and why happens. Then sakhya bhava, friendship. Vatsalya bhava, parental love. And madhurya bhava, conjugal love. So these are the relationships also available. But most important thing, what happens, let us look at. When we have sakama bhakti. So what is sakama bhakti? That also we need to see very carefully how it develops and what happens. Now, the moment you have sakama bhakti, that is how you start your life. Why and how? Because in sakama bhakti, you start looking in two ways. And this is what it happens. Most important point. One is called yoga, other one is called kshema. I am trying to bring all Bhagavad Gita today. So yoga or kshema. Sometimes both. In fact, first you relate with God because of yoga. So yoga means being with a God to achieve something that you don't have. So the first stage of sakama bhakti. So basically you are a beggar. Give me, give me, give me, give me. And if you do not want to say give me, sanchame, mayasyame, priyanchame. Chame, 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 chame. You understand? So this is chame, chame, chame is in chamakam, okay? So namakam is vairagyam, chamakam, give me this, give me that. That's why if you chant chamakam every day, don't worry, you will have everything. The secret. So first is yoga. Then this sakama bhakti, from yoga, it does not end. Go to kshema. Yes, you have got. Now you need to maintain. God, I didn't have child, now I have child. Now my child should study well. My child should be good. Should be nice. And not only that, child should also marry properly, should have grandchild, maintaining your family. Yoga, kshama, or wealth, power, position, whatever. Just example sake. So first is yoga, second one is kshema. So in both yoga and kshema, in sakama bhakti, you have lot of conflict. Let me not get into, because it will be bigger area. Then once this is sakama bhakti, you graduate from yoga and kshema. Now next step would be, you start thanking God, gratitude. By your grace, I have everything. This is a very big step. In fact, we say quantum jump. Oh Lord, because of you, I have everything. So acknowledging that you are satisfied. Acknowledging you have the best. And there is the stage where the person only can come to later on Vedanta. Without this stage, nobody can come to Vedanta. It's a waste of time. If I am still in yoga and kshema, what Vedanta? that Vedanta becomes Devanta. You understand? The Guru becomes rogue. I cannot say Guru becomes differently, okay? God becomes dog. Just I'm playing with the words, don't worry. So the next step would be, I am grateful. The body I am having, in fact the breathing that I am having, I am grateful. So when I come to this, that I am grateful, because I am going to bring Ananya Bhakti, okay? That's why I am establishing all these points. Once I come to the point that I am grateful, then what happens? Now I don't relate Ishvara as object of a giver. And I am no more a consumer. I am no more a beggar. At the same time, I am not yet a contributor. So it's a transition period. And this is the attitude point. Until and unless a person is able to cultivate this attitude for a length of time and avoids this attitude for a length of time, definitely the person is not going to grow. That's why technically what we say, that arti or tharthi, the sakama bhakti, sakama bhaktas, those who are desire oriented devotees, they get stuck as arti. Arti means in distress, or artharthi, seeking for security. From arti to artharthi, they keep fluctuating. They don't go for moksha. They don't become moksharthi. Only when you start maintaining that, look, I have the best. Now what is the purpose of my life? You understand? Is it purpose of life to show up that, I am better than my friends, better than my parents, better than my neighbor, better than my country, or better than somebody or other? What is the purpose of my life? So when I start looking into this aspect, then only I become what? A moksharthi, called mumukshu. Because that's why I am highlighting again and again. If I don't give that satisfaction to me myself, or I am not able to abide with myself as a satisfied person, a contented person, I cannot become a mumukshu. Yes, I may become mumukshu based on the description of others. Like a child says very nicely, I want to marry today, especially boy, okay? They comes to the mother, I want to marry today. What happened? Why you want to marry? Because if I marry, at least there is somebody who will listen to me. Because I am tired of listening to all of you, you understand? But poor fellow doesn't know, after marriage only you have to listen, not that you have to make others listen to. And especially when you grow old, okay? Don't worry. Let me not talk, okay? Now, the child wants to get married. The sense of marriage or thinking about marriage or concept of marriage is completely depends upon one particular emotion. So again, it is related to what? Some type of artha, insecurity. So also, I am a moksharthi, mumukshu. Somebody has given some concept of moksha. then I am a moksharthi. Then what happens to that? After some time, moksha goes some other way. Again, I am back to what? Either arti or, you know that? Arthat. So that's why people don't travel. So how this travel to happen? We will see how we are going to look at this ananya avicharini bhakti, or a moksharthi, mumukshu becomes a jigyasu. The psychological aspect we'll see.